Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Domestic Boyfriends podcast. My name is Dean, and always with me is my lovely co-host Vincent.
Hello.
It's been a while, but we have good reason. We're bringing you a banger today, um, and we're going to be going over a video game, unlike we have done before. I think the only one that we've ever done before is Spider-Man, right? We've only ever done Spider-Man, I think. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
So, we're gonna be going over a game that is has slowly begun to creep deeply into my heart. Digimon Story Time Stranger. So, if there's any Digimon fans in the house, please be hyped. Please let us know. We are very excited to be talking about this one, and it's been very anticipated. This game just came out this year, October of 2025. The last big title Digimon game that we got was back in 2017, back in December 14th, 2017. Pretty crazy. Been over 8 years since we last had a full title Digimon game that wasn't uh, an app game. Because we did get Pokemon New or Digimon New Century. Sorry, forbidden name. Digimon New Century was a China only game that is currently running, but we don't have access to it anywhere outside of China. But this is a new story game. Vincent, do you know the difference between Digimon Story and Digimon World games?
Uh, all right, and that's where Dean's gonna explain what it
Yeah.
is, because I don't.
So you played Dusk and Dawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Digimon World Dusk and Dawn actually are not Digimon World games. They're Digimon Story games. So, sometime in the mid 2000s, whenever they were
Huh?
translating over.
What?
Yeah.
Is
So,
it what they're called? Digimon World? All
so
right.
Digimon World games are more of like an action adventure RPG where like you can do you know how like the new Pokemon games like you like command them but like it's like in real time combat.
Yeah.
That's how the Digimon World games work. Digimon Story games are the normal JRPG style turn based games. So, a large clump of Digimon World games are actually mistranslations from the original Digimon Story games that they were in Japan. So, yeah, fun fact. So Digimon World Dusk and Dawn are actually Digimon Story. I think like Lunar. I think Dusk and Dawn. Let me look it up right now. I'm 90% sure they have. Yeah. So Digimon. So Digimon World Dawn is actually Digimon Story Sunburst, and Digimon World Dusk is actually Digimon Story Moonlight. So they completely
Oh.
they did a different change for those names, but yeah, um, that's kind of our history with the games. Do you have any besides those games? Have you played anything else?
Um. Yes. I have. I mean, I played. As you know, I played a bit, not all. Of Cyber Sleuth.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Uh. I vaguely remember like potentially playing like some amount of like older Digimon games, and I definitely played I think it's called Rumble Arena, whatever the
Yeah,
Smash
the
clone
fighting game.
was.
Yeah, no, that was on the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
that game
Yep.
was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Rumble Arena eventually got a sequel that was on the PlayStation 2 as well. Rumble Arena 2. Um, yeah, no, that's cool. I also had a Rumble Arena growing up. I'm pretty sure I still have my original disc somewhere. Um, and then I played Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory, and I think there was a Wii game that I rented from like the movie rental store. What the fuck was that called? The video game movie rental
Buster?
store. Yeah, Blockbuster. Yeah, I definitely did a Blockbuster rental of the Wii game for Data Squad. And then I remember we didn't own it, but my brother's one friend did have Digimon World 2 or 3 that I played a little bit, but those games you actually had to like raise and keep your Digimon alive. Um, Oh, Digimon Dusk and Dawn. I played those, and then there's a Digimon game called Digimon World Championship. I recommend anybody who is interested in Digimon play it because it's not a JRPG. It is a monster raising game. You're given like, it's on the DS, and you have to literally like raise Digimon, and you're given like this environment, like it's like an Nintendogs, and like you have to drop them in, and then like depending on the environment, they like flourish or train and stuff like that. It's really interesting. But the whole point of it is that you train them for different tournaments, and then it's pretty much like dogfighting with Digimon. So if you're into that type of thing, you can play it on the Nintendo DS. Um, but yeah, let's get into the game. We'll do. I think this game is very. We can. There's a lot that we can talk about in the spoiler-free section than a lot more of the stuff we talk about. Given what we know about it, and then the demo came out, and people were able to play that if they didn't get the game, or even if they didn't get the game. Um, so yeah, this game, Vincent. What is this game about? Without spoiling it,
Oh,
the non spoilers. What is this game about?
this game is about a mystery where you're a detective and you need to solve it. It involves Digimon, uh, and horrible incursions that they cause.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a pretty good summarization. For if you've played the demo, you kind of already know some of the stuff. You the player character are a secret agent, like Vincent said. You work for an organization named Adamus, and you're solving mysteries. You're solving all the mysteries that a secret agent would. And that I think that itself from the demo kind of like really pulled me in. Was like an interesting concept. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so if you've never played a Digimon story game, like I said, the difference between story and world games, or world is you actively real time battle with other Digimon with your one Digimon. Story games is a very normal Japanese RPG turn based structure. Build a team, uh, buffing your team. It's a 3v3 game. Most Digimon. See, how you can tell the difference between a story and a story game and a world game is there will always be the three Digimon in your front party and then the three Digimon in your back party as supports. Um, but the story games play pretty much like a traditional RPG. People always make the comparisons between Pokemon and Digimon. I think as two people that play a ton of both, I can honestly say the differences are just the monster raising portion. And in my opinion, the monster raising portion is only similar in the fact that they are creatures that can battle. Like, I can't compare Digifarm or any other past iterations of it to anything in Pokemon besides maybe the daycare. But that is like, it's very night and day in what you can do in one compared to the other.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair.
Um, but yeah, another thing, so some things that we can talk about. So this game, I guess this is this is also like a lore drop on you because we did talk about this slightly when the game came out, but I didn't want to spoil your fun. Was that back for a couple years, we knew that. So back in 22, we knew that um, we were going to get a new Digimon story game because the producers and the Digimon team confirmed it that it was going to be taking place with the Olympus 12 as the main characters. So we've known that for years, or at least like the greater audience of Digimon has known it because it was confirmed by developers, right? Um,
Hmm.
but that was all that we knew. So we knew that, and then we knew who the producer was. The producer came off, and then there was stated we got the name in 2023 that the new story game was going to be have Time Stranger in it, in some regard, and then we got the game. They showed it off in the state of play back earlier this year, and it has been amazing ever since. But we've known about it, and a lot of people were curious about what it was because if you are a new fan to Digimon, you learn very quickly that everything is canon and nothing is consistent. Um,
Yeah.
because like as two people that really like the show, you can't go from the show and you can take aspects of it and apply it to the video games and vice versa, but it doesn't translate one to one, even in entire character concepts. And that's saying even more if you read the manga and stuff like that. Which, like Pokemon, is like completely separate properties that have their own ideas and just take inspiration from some things. So, um, when we learned that it was about the Olympus 12, a lot of people had theories, but what we knew from like Digimon, like data book articles from like the old card game, and what we knew from like whatever properties the Olympus 12 originally came from, it was Jack Diddley, right? We could only make so many assumptions. All that
Yeah.
we knew is that for sure is that the Olympus 12 come from an entirely different server, because there are multiple servers that house the Digimon. the 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 one that is most known for people that even have just watched like Adventure or like the first two seasons of Digimon is the Yggdrasil, or King Drazel as it's more commonly known in modern days, is the server admin over the digital world. So uh, this one takes place in Iliad, which is supposed to be like Rome or Olympus themed and stuff like that, old Greek. Um, but the Olympus 12 play a big part in this game, uh, and we are playing the agents that unravel the mystery of it. Uh, Gameplay. We can talk about a lot of this without being too much spoilery. Gameplay wise, this game has a lot of love put into the RPG system. How did you feel playing it as someone who's familiar with RPGs but unfamiliar with Digimon as a whole, with limited experience?
This was uh hmm. This game was very hard. It is a
Yes.
very difficult game. That I like it. I it is the easiest difficult RPG that I've ever played.
Uh huh.
Or easiest to play difficult RPG. There we go. That's the one.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
It is challenging but not unfair. At times. So sometimes some of these bosses, like Big Green and Ugly, I won't specify who, but that's enough to be able to know exactly who I'm talking about. Um, uh,
Yeah.
the assumption going into this game, right, was that I was going to probably enjoy this more than I have a lot of recent Pokemon games.
Hmm.
Because I'm old and crotchety and new things are bad. Um,
Uh-huh.
um, but also like Pokemon's not been difficult for a while.
Yeah.
Um, and I went in and I saw a difficulty selector, and I was like, "This game's for babies." So I selected hard,
And it
and
made
then
you the baby.
every single boss fight that I did, I went through all of my healing items, and I was down to my last character every single time and was one shot away from dying and barely made it through until I hit a point where I'm like, I just want to play the game, man. So I swapped it to normal halfway through the playthrough and still had a hard time at times. Um, but it never felt like undeserved because they were always on like bosses, right? And those
Hmm.
are the things that also like test you and like check like how well you've like designed your teams, how well you've built up your characters and
Yeah.
whatnot. Um, and then the actual like regular RPG portions and whatnot were so fun and relaxing and well made every single time that I was that like in the back of my head because I've played a lot of like JRPGs and other
Yeah.
things like that. Every single time that I was about to like deal with something that I've dealt with in other games, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to deal with this. And then all of a sudden I've been greeted like
The
every
fetch
single
quests.
time with well, I mean, there's still those. Don't get me wrong.
No,
It's
I
an
mean like
RPG.
the fetch
Um,
quest. Like,
but
unlike some JRPGs where they would make you run all the way back to the other
oh, that's
area,
true.
this
Yeah.
game just quick
No,
travels
actually,
you
that's a
wherever.
perfect example. Yeah, no, you when you finish the thing, it'll just drag you back to where you need to turn it in, and then you'll be able to finish it. You don't have to do like an hour or half an hour of like backtracking to get back to your space. When you're in like combat, and you have a character that's going to die or something, and you're like, oh man, I would love to be able to use a healing item on this, but I want to be able to keep dealing damage or do some kind of buff. Well, guess what? In this game, you can use a healing item and attack with your character, and if you really want, you can swap out your character, use an item on them, and still attack, which like blew my mind. It was such like a simple change, but it was so huge because
Yeah.
that's completely against everything we've been dealing with for the past however long.
Yeah, that's if I remember right from from Hacker's Memory and Cyber Slew, that is a brand new thing for this game.
That is
Um,
correct.
so it is a big change for JRPGs in general for this to have that added because some people would say it's like a kind of a cop out because you can do so much, but attacking is the end of your turn. Like you either have to attack or guard. So like I really hope you using an item or switching out actually benefits you because if not, um, like you said, sometimes these bosses are very unforgiving if you kind of
Yeah.
mess up. So, but like you said,
No.
it feels warranted.
Yeah.
Um, because besides the bosses, the rest of this game feels, depending on how underleveled you are, it can feel minute. Um, like if you really overlevel your guys, like you can go like breezing through areas is super easy because you can just one shot everybody. Because of the easy play, like target attack mechanic that they have, to ignore actual RPG battles. Excuse me, but um, yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. It's very nice, very a breath of
Yeah.
fresh air.
It's also awesome that like it's like the number one thing that gets harped on every single time for Pokemon now. But like it's really awesome to have basically an entire game. Not all of it is voiced, but basically all of the game is voiced.
Yeah.
Um so there isn't necessarily too much reading. There's still an amount of reading, but like it's fine. You expecting everything to be voiced for an entire RPG that oh, let me check my playthrough because I didn't really grind that much for anything.
Hmm.
I largely just played the story. I did a bunch of side missions, but I still like largely just did the story. I have 67 hours
Yeah,
clock.
for
I'd say
context,
probably like 7 of those hours was side missions.
Yeah,
if that.
for context, me and Vincent both have nearly 100% of the game. I don't think there was probably a group of bosses that we did not fight, and I will choose not to fight them unless they become a mandatory thing in another
Yeah,
file.
they're hard.
Yeah, I do not want to fight them at the moment. Um, but yeah, that's just for context so people understand that this game has a lot. This game has a lot. We both we both had a jaw dropping moment because this game's prologue was like 12 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it was what, 12, it was about 10, 12 hours, and then we got Digimon Story Time Stranger to appear on the screen.
Yeah, like there were there was plot, there was stuff to do, there was advancements that you could make. Um, there was side quests that you can do beforehand. There was a lot to do before any of it actually showed up, and then I'm pretty sure I don't know a single person or have seen a single video about this game where everybody was just like, where somebody wasn't just like, what the, we just got to title screen? What do you mean we just got to title screen?
Yeah.
Because you
Oh,
go through so much of the game, because like you expect games nowadays, like with a lot of like open world games, like it's whatever you make of it. Like you can speed run whatever you want to now if it's an open world game. But this game being linear, you get a lot out of it. You get a whole bunch. If I look on my Steam right now, I have 72 hours. I would probably say maybe an hour is being AFK just because I left the game running. And then another hour or two might be because I redid a story thing, and that was just to redo progress. But all of it was entertaining. All of it was fun. Um,
yeah. No, absolutely. And like also like there were multiple times like throughout the game where like it just kept going. I remember distinctly when you like hopped in a Discord call that I was in, and you're like, Vincent, I think I'm about to beat the game. And I was like, "Oh, how many hours are you in?" And you said like 25 or 30. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's all right." And then you left for a bit, came back and was like, "Vincent, I think there's like two-thirds of the game left for me to play." I was like, "What do you mean?"
yeah, I think like I came
Because
back
the
into
rest of the game just opened up.
yeah, I think I came back into the call and I was just like, I think the game started. Like the
Yeah, no,
title
that's
screen rolled,
exactly.
but I think that the rest of the game is unlocked now because this game, it just, I think that's something that a lot of games are missing now. Is that like some games are very predictable with the length and how the story goes. I'm not saying that this game has a ton of twists and turns, and we'll talk about that when we get into spoilers. But legitimately, the story in this game had me invested and confused and shocked. And games don't do that a lot nowadays for me. Um, and it it just kept going. It just kept going, and I loved it. The only time that I was just like, I really want to beat this game, uh, is for a particular mission that we'll talk about later. Because I was just like, when does this side quest end? And if you've played the game and you hear those words, you know exactly what side quest I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, no, it's good. The music's great. I love the music in this game. I don't think that there's a single area, town. Maybe I would say like Machine Town is my least favorite, and that's just because I like everything else more. Maybe some of the more end game areas, like I'll just say the spooky area. I don't remember what the music is there, but yeah, I don't. it has great music. The score is amazing. Digimon always has great music, whether it's in the anime or video games. Um, the the gameplay is smooth. Like Vincent said, like a lot of this game is voice acted and not even like character dialogue. Like every single Digimon, which there are over 400 Digimon in this game, 400 individual Digimon, uh, that each have, unique stats. Some of them are recolors of other ones, but they're actually different Digimon, and each of them has at least one voiced move that is their signature move. That is amazing. That is
It's true.
that is more than what Pokemon has with signature
There is
looking
there is a
animations.
lot of reused voice actors. I will say that,
Yeah.
but they all do a very great job, and hiring voice talents, hiring a different one for every single different
Yeah.
Digimon,
Over
especially when they're adding more with more
even
DLC coming out,
you
is un it is unfair to expect that.
400 plus Digimon, right? If we were to even get, I don't know, a tenth of that, that's 40 voice actors. That is this game would be selling for double the price because of how much they'd be pouring into budget.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I would be surprised that the game came out.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, given what they have, and that's not even speaking for, because this game is dubbed in English and Japanese. So, the
yeah,
amount of voice actors we have is double because of the actual voices that we have. So, like the fact
and
that they
with
were able to
that,
do that.
they've given us such every character. Well, for the most part, almost every single character does feel like unique and different from each other.
Hmm.
There are a couple that like sound kind of the same, but also, in fairness to Digimon, as much as I love it, um, there's only so many different voices that you can do for the same-ish dragon-looking Digimon.
Yeah, and a really interesting thing is, despite all of every single speaking Digimon that has an important role, aka like all of the Olympus 12 plus a couple other things, um, most of them except Agiomon, which this isn't a spoiler. Agiomon's like a part of the game and is part of the materials, the promotional materials and everything like that. Every single Olympus 12 member plus whoever else is voiced except Agiomon has a different voice for the Digimon when you have him in your party. So like if you have a Marukimon and it sounds different than the Marukimon that is part of the Olympus 12. I noticed this
Yeah,
when I noticed this when Apollomon and Dianamon were in my party with my Apollomon and Dianamon, and I was just like, why don't you guys sound the same? Like even the Coronamon and Lunamon sound a little different. Um, so that's a lot. Those a lot that itself is a lot of resources for the game to have. So, not to make this of like a comparison or anything like that, but like you said, this game, like in comparison to Pokemon, this is pretty big. You know,
yeah.
um, art. This
No,
game,
it's huge for like just like creature collection games as a whole.
yeah, no, for
Honestly,
sure.
this is the most like well developed one that I have ever played, and I feel like I can pretty safely say that.
Um, design, like the maps look amazing. Um, not to harp back on Pokemon or anything like that, but this game looks great. I don't think that there was one time that I entered an area and I wasn't like, wow, this looks good. Like, this is a well designed area with a very well thought out theme. Some of my favorite areas are like the first couple ones that were in the beginning. You have a favorite one, which is probably my least favorite one. Um,
Oh,
just because I'm not the biggest fan of the cosmic area of Cosmo area.
oh,
I think the
yeah, I
entrance is
adore the
cool.
cosmic area.
I think the entrance is cool, but once you go between the two, I'm just like, eh. fiery, icy. I think the
I
idea is
think
cool.
I've come around a bit. And like while I do adore that area, I think my favorite area is the Abyss area.
Um, yeah, I also think it's the abyss area. It's just I don't
It's
know.
just beautiful.
Water areas get me.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to swim or it's an underwater level, I'm pretty like most water areas get me. Um, a runner up is definitely Junomon's palace. Junomon's
Hmm.
temple, like the themes of it, and like when you actually like when you see all around it, it's amazing. Um, yeah, just all around. It's just really good. If you are a Digimon fan and you have not played this game, I highly recommend it. The $70 tag, honestly, pay the $100, get the season pass. Um, I think we both got it. We're waiting for the DLC. There's DLC confirmed. If it's anything like Cyber Slew was in Hacker's Memory, after like we're expecting more, we're actually going to talk about this after we're done with inside the spoiler section of this about some of our predictions. But this game has a lot. You're gonna at least get what would you say? Even if if you skipped all the cutscenes and everything like that, you're still gonna probably get like 50 plus hours out of this game. Like
Yeah, I'd
if
say
you
so.
actually don't pay attention to anything that's happening, skip everything, just do whatever, you're gonna get like at least 50 hours in this game. But if you take your time, enjoy everything, get to see what all of this was about, you're gonna get the 60 plus, 70 plus that we did. Um, okay, spoilers. I we didn't get to talk about this. Um, the two the how did you feel about the two plot twists in the game?
Uh
So to refresh you, the first plot twist was that Plutomon was not well. Plutomon was still kind of evil, but Plutomon and the Titans were a machination of Chronomon trying to defy like Iliad and the Great Creator and everything like that, or
yeah.
homeostasis. Sorry, and
I
and then the second one, we know what the second one is.
yeah. I loved the first one for sure. I really like the second one. I really like the second one especially because I called it.
You did, you did. You were like maybe you just hit the
I was
prologue,
very yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
and you're like, "Am I a Digimon?" And I didn't even get to that point. It was just a funny comment, and I was just like, "Ha ha ha."
Well, it wasn't even like just the like am I a Digimon thing. I specifically also was like, all right, here's my idea. Here's my thought. Uh, uh Agiomon was the reason uh
Oh, the reason why her brother died,
why her brother
and
died.
he was directly the reason why. Which, for people who don't know, there was the prequel animation that came out, and yes, he was the reason that he died. Um, that is
It's
yeah.
directly him. Also, um, to briefly talk about that because I don't think we're really going to talk about that animation too much. That is easily one of the best animated Digimon things that I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
The
no, they put everything into that. What,
dude,
seven
Digimon,
minutes?
my boy.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy when you think of it in perspective of the game more, because like you're just like saddened, and then like you see this happening, and the you know the depression that sets in after for all these characters and everything like that, and you're just like, oh, like that's crazy. And
Oh no.
Justimon put belt to ass though. He was just like, I will kill this machine Dramon.
Dude, I'm so glad that I
They got
watched
wiped
that
out.
after I found out the info.
Yeah, and then freaking. This is why after so that animation came out after I had already beaten the game.
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments was like everybody playing the game is just like, oh, Taitomon, he's the best. Like Taitomon helped us. I'm sorry, Titamon's still an op. He is still the enemy. Like he's still, despite the fact that Plutomon's not a part of the Olympus 12 technically because he's supposed to represent Pluto. Not Plutomon. Is it Plutomon?
Glutamon, yeah.
And Pluto is Hades,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
technically,
No, you got it.
technically he's not. Plutomon's not technically a part of the Olympus 12. I don't think. Like he's like a. I don't even think he's like a tertiary member. He's just named after Pluto. Yeah. He's not even a part of the Olympus 12 technically. Um, but like, dudes like, we're Titans, which that I'm gonna get into that after I'm done with this statement. Um, and then everybody's like, "Oh, we'll help him out," and he helps out in the final fight and everything like that. But I'm sorry, Titans are still the bad guys because like they figure out that like all of this was machinations of Chronomon, and they're just like, "Yeah, but next time we see you, we're still enemies." Like, if you don't get your little Sunomon ass out of here, like I'll fight you now. I will fight you, me, the human Digimon data guy. Like, I will go Marcus Damon and punch you in the face. Like, get out of here. You killed her brother. Like, we know what fist came through that portal. We know who it is. That was you. You killed Justimon.
Yeah. Right? I also love that in that animation that Deputymon warp digivolved.
Yeah, it was something like,
By himself too.
well, so
Like,
it was. It's
kind of with help, but
yeah. It was
also
kind of shown that like, so the egg kind of worked as like this, not a digivice,
it
but
kind of
as like,
worked like Kalumon.
yeah, it kind of worked like a catalyst. So like, his emotion, like her brother's emotions through the egg transferred over to Deputymon, and then it just gave him enough data that he was just like whoop 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 whoop, and he became Justimon. Not just did he become Justimon, he gained like Ben 10 level information download. He was just like, and this is how I use the body.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
so
no,
cool.
it was awesome.
I cried.
Yeah, dude, I was just like, this is so sad. I was just like, when I saw him holding the egg and then the portal opened, I was just like, oh. And you know where that area is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I replayed through the game again, I like look. I was like, once we beat Metal Greymon, when we went up those stairs, I was just like, this is where he died. I was like, right here was ground zero. I was just like, I hate it
No,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah, no.
No. How how terrifying and like PTSD inducing it must have been for her to have been like watching all of that happen on the TV.
Yeah, right. That's my brother. That's my brother. No. No. And then there's a Chaos Dramon, which is a Digivolution of Machine Dramon in the building. So his data was probably left over and then just redid itself into the Chaos Dramon. Yeah, no. This game gives me emotional damage every time I think about something in it. But the first one I thought was interesting because I was just like, oh, are the Olympus 12 bad and we have to fight the Olympus 12? Like, do we, like, what is our objective with that? Or at least, like, not the Olympus 12, but like Junomon. Maybe she's like a separate thing. Maybe she's been manipulating everything. Well, we found out she was being manipulated by Cherubimon, who was a prophet of Chronomon and everything. I think the second one, no, finding out that we are a machination of homeostasis was the thing that actually, like, besides the jaw drop of how long the game was running before the prologue, this literally made me put down my controller and be like, huh? Like, I want to learn more about my father. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that he's not real? He's a character. I am I am the child of Professor what is it, Doctor Yuki or whatever. My adoptive
Yeah.
father. Like what is it? Yeah, Doctor Yuki. Doctor Yuki. Yeah, so I was just like, what do you mean? I'm not. What do you mean I'm not a person? This guy is a freaking is an anime character. Um, but I really liked it. So I think we both. Did you like Agiomon as stuff was going on, or did you start finding him annoying?
Oh, I liked him. Yeah, I liked him quite a lot. I felt like he was doing his best.
Yeah, yeah. He stun fist everything that I needed him to. Um, as the game went on, I started to get more annoyed with him. Uh, and then everything happened, and then I was just like, oh man, this is a lot. And then I missed him as the fourth party member that I could just use revives on his turn to bring everybody back.
Hmm.
But as soon as he like actually came back into the story, and when it was revealed that like who we are, I was just like, oh, this is really interesting. Like I have more respect for him now. Um, but this is the first time ever where we are not a human in a Digimon game. Uh, we are technically some type of digital life form because we are made out of data of Aegismon, like fallen mode or dark mode. But we have the memories of Akari, her brother, and Aegiomon, but we're in the form of an anime character that her brother loved. So I don't know. I just think it's super cool the way
Yeah.
that all or Inori, not Akari, um, the way that all of that is was set up. And we were a fucking Digimon for a little bit. That was cool. When we were fighting against Chronomon as Jupitermon, I
Oh
was
yeah.
just like, dude, can this be me the entire fucking game? Like, I just want to play the rest of the game like this.
No, it was sweet.
And then when I got when I got when I got Jupitermon and then I got Jupitermon fight mode, I was just like, oh no, I don't like this. I was like, warrior mode's so boring. I was like, I want to be him, but I can't. Yeah, no, it was super fun. Um, the plot, the story, really love the story. Um, the side quests, um, the side quests. So I wanted
Deceptively long.
I so so to give context, I finished the game before I knew about. So I didn't think that you could do anything, right? I didn't read the last side quest where they want you to go back to the in between theater, and then eventually they talk to you and they gave you the ability to time travel, right? I was just like, damn. I literally finished the game at that point, and I was just like, damn. It's called Time Stranger, but I didn't time travel except during the plot points. And then they gave me the power to time travel, and I was just like, fuck, this game's great. Lets everybody finish. I think that's probably my favorite mechanic. That fully rounded the game out for me because I was afraid of like leaving out side quests that I never get back to and everything, losing out on an experience, and then all of that was completely fulfilled by the time right before the last boss. Um, all of the side quests at that point were super fun. Um, okay, okay, the Royal Knights wasn't crazy. It was just a lot. You just kept getting side quest after side quest after side quest,
Yeah.
um, which was cool because some of them were easy. Like Examon, you just
It
gotta
was
get him.
really fun
You
and
gotta get him
cool.
big. It was just, it was just a lot. To give context,
Yeah.
it took Vincent like a couple days to get the. Obviously, like we work and everything, but like it took him a couple days just because like there's 12 or 13 Royal Knights. Some of them had 2 side quests to them. I think one of them had 3. Uh, so it was quite a bit because it just kept unlocking and unlocking. But then eventually you got the Olympus, you got the Royal Knights, which if you did not complete that Royal Knights quest before the end of the game, you didn't get those additional cutscenes. When you fight the final boss and the Royal Knights come, if you did not do that, you only get Omnimon that does one little slash in the Supreme Cannon, and then he's gone. He just darts off. So me seeing that as and beating the game, and then me doing the rest of the side quests and doing it, I was just like, oh shit, for real. Thankfully, I avoided the spoilers of it. But yeah, no, it was something else. There's a couple of them that are like that. If you miss certain things. Um, But yeah, they were super fun. It was really cool to see Susanamon. Me and Vincent are big fans of
Oh,
Frontier. Shambhala getting teased in some proportion. Shambhala being in a totally different digital world that was introduced this year, or back in 2024. Um, super, super cool. Asian themed. Susanamon's like the creator god of that server and everything. It was just really cool. Um, the tournament side quest. I was wondering if it was ever going to end. I was just like, how many more
yeah.
people do I have to fight? Because like when I was getting to what I thought was the end of the game, I was just like, this side quest hasn't ended. What the fuck do I have to do to end the side quest? Do I have to go into New Game Plus and then I can get this side quest done? Like, I was questioning everything. And then, because I fought Imperial Digimon Paladin mode, I was just like, there is no stronger Digimon in this game. Like, Digimon 02 pilled, I was just like, Paladin mode is the peak of Digimon. And then a million others came afterwards, and I was just like, oh, okay. This is, it's not a challenge, it's just more people to fight. So, that was interesting. It was interesting to have the whole tournament bracket thing. I think that was fun. How did you feel? How did you feel about the minor Digimon being the Olympus 12? Like, did you expect the Bearmon brothers to come back in any meaningful way?
No.
Yeah,
No, I did
yeah.
not. I, I I was expecting them to
Spawn.
die.
Oh.
Um, um, but it was super cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Shellmon, Diramon. I wasn't expecting. I still don't know what the difference between a Titan Digimon and a regular Digimon are. I
I don't think there is
I think that
one
distinction was
at
specific.
all.
I think that distinction was specifically made for the card game because they made that into a trait. So
Ah,
that's my 2 cents about that. Um,
I
but it doesn't.
see.
I think I didn't expect Shellmon to digivolve into Venusmon at all. Uh, Divermon into Neptunemon after Shellmon into Venusmon, it was very predictable. Bearmon into Jupitermon, I kind of forgot Jupitermon was a thing, but I didn't expect his brother to turn into the other one. That was interesting. And then, obviously, me and you being Dusk and Dawn fans, as soon as we saw Lunamon and Coronamon, we were just like, oh, right, yeah, yeah, Apollomon, Dianamon. Yeah. But what I didn't expect was them to pull out a DNA Digivolution scene before one of the final fights. That was crazy. That was
Yes.
cool. That was crazy. That was probably in Cyber Slew. There's a moment where one of the side characters has an Agumon and a Gabumon warp digivolve to Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, and then DNA digivolve into Omnimon. I thought that was the peak of Digimon until I saw Apollomon and Dianamon create a galaxy when they were Grace Novamon. Like, what the fuck was that? That was
Yeah.
so cool. They created a new space time. Um, yeah, no, that was pretty awesome. Um, yeah, no, that was cool. Plutomon, Aegiomon becoming Jupitermon. I did not see that. Aegyomon really didn't have a lot fleshed out before this game, except we knew about his forms. That light form, the form where he becomes light attribute, I think that was new for the game. But the other three, the mechanical one, the red one, and the green one, were ones that we had before. And I think dark mode was also one we had before. Um, but him leading into Jupitermon, I don't think was originally part of any of his material that came out with him, because I think he came out either with like not card game material, but I think with like extra promotional material for a different thing. Like it might have been like a VPED or something like that. Um, but yeah, I thought everything else was super cool. Chronomon, I forget Chronomon's a fucking Digimon. I thought Chronomon was gonna be this new Digimon, and then I was just like, oh yeah, he's a chicken. I forgot about that. Um, yeah, no, super awesome. Anything else in spoilers, or you just want to talk about before we go on to future expectations?
I mean, it's kind of largely been covered for the most part. Did you have a favorite like side character or like member of like the Olympus 12 that you interacted with?
Um, I really so for one, I loved uh, what's her name, Sarismon's pre-Evo, the little doll thing, the little bird girl that
Yeah,
was part. I think she was really
that
cool.
just kept slapping
Yeah,
slapping Bacchusmon around.
yeah, she was cool. I didn't expect her to become Sarismon for one. That was like left field out of nowhere. Um, I thought Bacchusmon was cool, um, but like some of them fit like too many anime tropes. Like Coronamon and Apollomon, like they were just like hot-headed anime trope 101. Um, I did really like Mervamon. I don't know. Maybe maybe Marukimon. Maybe Marukimon. I it
Okay.
probably Maruki, because man, when he was dying, I was just like, no. I was like, he's been here
Yeah.
since the beginning. No.
Oh
Um,
man.
Either that or the like side character wise, maybe the professor, because like she was always skeptical of us, and playing it through New Game Plus, knowing the knowledge of the game, like she was super skeptical of us in general, and I think that was really cool because like she's so smart, and like she sees like our Digivice, and she's just like, how'd you get this? And like she sees us interacting with Digimon, she's just like, how do you even have these guys? And then you're just like, I'm a top secret agent. Just like, no, you just don't know the truth. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no. How about you? How did you? What was your favorite side
Uh
character?
I mean, I went into it and I was like, I'm gonna meet my boy Coronamon, and he's gonna be my favorite. I'm not gonna care about anyone else. And then I met him, and he was kind of a shitter, but I kind of loved him for it. Um, Lunamon was adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think like overall, like my favorite side character that like I ended up dealing with was either probably like favorite like Olympus 12 member was um Minervamon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think my favorite side character, and he wasn't in the game for that much, but like every single time I interacted with him, it was like my favorite thing, and I was just like laughing and loving it the whole time. Was I forget the Digimon's name, but it's the it's the guy that it's the frog with the trumpet that like you have to tell him like really really cringy cheesy like one
Oh
liners to be able to
fuck!
teleport you
God
around.
damn it!
I love him,
I know what
dude.
you're talking about. And then you see him towards the Gekomon.
Gekko, yeah.
So you see him towards the end of the game, and then you're just like, "Oh shit, he's gonna lick me. He's gonna help me teleport." And he's just like, "Who are you?" And then you just tell him a random, you tell him a random thing, and he's just like, "Oh," and then he just teleports. Yeah,
And then at the very end, he says his own thing. He's like, "No, no."
yeah. Divermon's also up there with me because I think we both had the same reactions when we first met him, and then we were going through the dungeon, and then he leaves us for a little bit to go get some Marimon, and then just like this guy just left me. We're getting jumped, and then just like, hey guys, I'm back. Oh, what's happening here? And then he's actually like
Yeah.
a good guy, and like he actually tries to fight for like peace between Titans and stuff. I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty noble. Neptunemon is definitely shown in protagonist material. And then he dies, and then we have to turn back time. Um, yeah, no. Um, yeah, this game just has a lot. It's a lot of fun. Um, there's not a lot of negatives, in my opinion. We talked about this before, but like the Digifarm, like not it's not super intuitive if you don't pay attention to the instructions, and there's not a whole bunch you can reference afterwards, at least like that is super accessible. um, but using it for natures and everything like that does feel a bit grindy, but that's okay because this is a whole creature. It's an RPG with a creature capture slash raising element to it. That's not its whole thing. um, and you can do it in the background, or if you just have a crap ton of cash, you can just speed it up. Um, but it is very fun. That is like my only gripe with it is the Digi Farm. But it's not even like a gripe like it's mandatory to use. It's just like I have a lot of quality of life updates I would like to have added to it. Um, one of the biggest ones, and I think you can back me up on this, is being able to like access your box inside the Digi Farm, because like
Hmm.
you can't look at anything in your for your Digimon. Like you have to extract them, go out, go through a whole different menu, check it, put them, if it's not right, put them back, go through a whole different menu. Um, there's a lot of things that just seem like it should be a no-brainer, but weren't included in it. So
Yeah.
that's my only quote unquote gripe. Um, but everything else, like, solid. I if I were to rate this game, like, I'm replaying it right now on New Game Plus, and I've kind of just hit a point right now where it's like I kind of want to wait for DLC, just so I'm not like too burnt out on the game. But like, this game's great. I recommend it to anybody. RPG lover, you want something new, and you kind of like Pokemon. You like Digimon, but you're like you haven't played a game in a long time. We whatchamacallit, we convinced one of our RPG loving friends to buy the game. Like we just played it a whole bunch. We played
Yeah.
it a whole bunch in the Discord. We were sharing our screens.
Well, we
And
convinced. I convinced. We convinced two people to buy it at least, because both. What? Ryan and Chaz both.
yeah, yeah.
Albeit like, Chaz took very little convincing because I was like, "Hey, it's Digimon." And he's like, "Huh?" And I showed him like two. I showed him what I did, and I've done this for a
You
couple
showed him
people now.
Sharkmon.
And I had, huh?
You showed him the Sharkmon fight, and you were like, "I'm dying" a whole bunch.
No, no. It's my favorite thing to show people, especially people who know nothing about Digimon. Um, if you've made it this far and you don't know anything about Digimon, super cool of you. But
Of
uh,
course.
one of my favorite things about Digimon is that like um, any one Digimon has like tons and tons of different routes that they can go for like evolving and devolving,
Yes.
back and forth, and like within either within a day or like before the game came out, some madman online had made a 3D graph of all of the different evolutions inside of the game, and showed it, and it was like this giant circle that had like tons of different points that were all different Digimon, um connecting with each other. It was this giant, like, terrifying circle. And I would show it to people, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so much." And I'm like, "It's okay. It gets bigger because the guy also posted a side profile, and it wasn't just one layer. There was like 7 or 8 different circles on top of each other,
Yeah.
each about as big as each other."
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like the not even to like keep comparing it to Pokemon, but the last Pokemon game. How many Pokemon are in Legend ZA? Legend ZA are like what was the last one? Scarlet and Violet. Legend ZA had 230. Scarlet and Violet had 400. Right. So
Mhm.
107 new Pokemon, 400 Pokemon in the game total. So 293 old, 107 new, right? About 400. Or it literally is 400, right? Digimon Time Stranger.
It's like 486 or something.
Yeah, it is.
Or maybe it'll like become that after the DLC comes out.
475
Ooh, I was
before
really
DLC.
close.
475 before DLC. We're supposed to get 14 more, so like 490. Probably get more after that, about 500. Not to compare apples to apples, right? But that is. There are. So that is almost 500 Digimon. 400 in the last big Pokemon game. 230 in the one that was just released. How many Pokemon exist? There exists about 1025, right? So 400. That's without 600 Pokemon in the last big game, right? How many
Mhm.
Digimon exist? There are over 1,500 different Digimon species throughout the entire franchise, and we got over 400 of them. That's like a third of the amount of Digimon there are. About. It's pretty good.
Jesus.
It's pretty good. Um, Not to brag or anything like that, but like that is nice. Um, there probably will be more in different installments of Digimon games. You know, there's a lot more Digimon. Digimon keep being developed as we speak. It's not like how Pokemon is, where like you get a Pokemon game and like you get new Pokemon then. Um, in Digimon, like there's light novels, there's manga, there's video games, there's TV shows. The Digimon Liberator just came out, and all of those Digimon have yet to like be in other forms of media besides the anime. Heck, Digimon Ghost Game introduced three whole new lines of Digimon. One of them has a bunch of branching evolutions. Those Digimon haven't even been in anything outside of the card game and the show. So like there's Digimon that need to be in these games that we still haven't seen outside of their original material. So, and that's not. Then there's some in the manga that haven't even been outside of the manga pages since their conception. So, it's a lot. There's a lot that they can pull from, um, and if you're comfortable with it, we can segue. Well, so how would you
Yeah,
rate this game? Like obviously we both
it's a
really love
10.
this game.
I'd give it a 10 immediately. There was
Yeah,
never a point where I wasn't happy and not wanting to play it.
yeah,
And that is more rare than I would like it to be.
yeah. This is the first game in a while that I was just like, I want there to be like immediately after ending. I was just like, I really want more now. Like, very few games do that for me anymore. It was a satisfying ending, but also I really just wanted a lot more of what was happening in the game. So, yeah. Okay. Next portion. Um, we wanted to talk about our future expectations of the game. We kind of already know what is going to happen in this not battle pass, in this season pass. Sorry, Fortnite on the brain. Um, in this season pass of Digimon Time Stranger, it was confirmed 15 new Digimon, and then story related content. As of this recording, we know the DLC that's supposed to be dropping this winter, which technically, in Japan slash what the Japanese consider winter is anywhere between December to February. So anytime between this month and the next two, we are supposed to be getting this DLC dropped eventually. We know that it is about a side character and adds in 5 new Mega level or Mega level plus Digimon to the game. Uh, and we know after that will be 10 new Digimon and then possible story related content added onto it. But besides, because we do know that it's not entire Digimon lines, it's just separate Digimon. We wanted to kind of make our wish lists. We wanted to have a little wish list, as Vincent called it, of what we want. So, if you want, we can start out and then just go back and forth.
Sure.
And then I'll start with you, just in case like one of us has a repeated one. There's one that I know both of us share because we talked about it throughout the entire game.
Oh,
But if you want to start, and then we'll just go down our lists and just you go, I go, you go, I go. Then we can discuss them a little bit.
sure. Um, I don't have these written down in like order of like how
No. You're
much I.
good. You're good.
So, the first one on my list is Amphimon.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. We talked about this because of like marine looking Digimon. I forget what the conversation was. Um,
I think it might have had something to do with the card game
yes.
potentially even. I don't know. But I adore how Amphimon looks. Amphimon's just super cool to me. And one of the first ever like packs of the Digimon trading card game I got. It was like a pack of what I think it was like Resurgence or something. But I got the textured alt art of Amphimon in it, and it was so cool because I had like never seen like a textured alt art card for Digimon before, and Amphimon, for those of you who don't know, it's this like neon pink
Yes.
diver. And the cards, the texture on the card is like this sort of fish scale bubble-esque thing across it that's just makes the card look extra aquatic. And it's just super, super fun. I know like largely nothing about Amphimon outside of that, but aesthetically, it is just a very, very cool looking Digimon. And I
So
love that it's also like a jellyfish.
I will bounce off of that because Amphimon is actually from Digimon Ghost Game. So the Ghost Game trio is a very big ask from a lot of people because, like I said, they've only been in the anime and the card game. Amphimon is
Oh, cool.
actually the mega level of Jellymon. Jellymon is. It definitely gives me. Whatchamacallit? Like some Spirit of Water type vibes. Here, I'll
Yeah.
copy and paste into Discord. This is Jellymon. Uh, that's Jellymon, and this
Aww.
is Jellymon's entire line with Amphimon at the back. So go left to right, bounce down to the smaller one. So that is. I don't know what her pre-evos are called, but obviously
Oh,
they're
this
very
line
adorable.
is sick.
So it's Tesla Jellymon, uh, Tethysmon, and then Amphimon. So she has like a electric, obviously jellyfish theme, and then they finish it off with this like diver esque type of deal that she kind of develops as she digivolves. She like starts to get like more. She gets like shoes, and then eventually she gets like these Tesla gloves. and then it all goes into Amphimon. Um, Ghost game Digimon. I'll just show you all of the Ghost game Digimon. So the so so this is the other one. So this is Ongoromon's line. So all of them have designated baby designs, which I really love.
Ooh.
Um, Ongoromon is big fluffy guy who goes into small fight or thin fighter guy, then back to a big wild monster guy, and then goes into a nightly rabbit guy. Um, Super cool. And then the last one is Gamamon, and this one is obviously the protagonist's Digimon because I sent you those two charts, and now his chart has way more arrows.
Oh god.
So, Gamamon digivolves into 4 different versions of a
I
champion
read
level.
the top one as Ween, not Wezen.
Um, so the bottom one. So during this season, they reintroduced Dark Digivolution, and uh, Galus Gamamon is his Dark evolution, and he has his own little line. And then the 3 that he evolves into normally can go into the same ultimate level, and then he goes into Seriousmon. The last one at the end. So Regulusmon. Okay, so the way that it happens in the show is that uh, Gamamon is kind of like possessed by this dark entity. He digivolves all the way up into Regulusmon, and Regulusmon kind of like takes over his mind, and he's like, "Hey," to like the partner, human partner, is just like, "I'm not letting this guy go. I'm gonna do whatever I'm supposed to do, right? My evil plan." And then Gamamon's personality kind of splits off from him, and they like divide, like how the Doctor did a couple years ago. He like bisected himself. Um, but the Atrociousmon and Proximamon are only in the card game. So
Ah.
they never showed up in the anime, but Seriousmon fought Regulusmon, but Regulusmon had like the power of a mega level. So he was kind of like they were tossing at each other the whole time. But yeah, you can tell he's the protagonist Digimon because he has so many arrows pointing everywhere. But people want these guys in it because Ghost Game, a lot of these Digimon are some people's first introduction to Digimon. So they really like the idea of having these guys added for their new nostalgia and the fact that these guys are like really nice full through lines. Like
Yeah.
Amphimon, Dobertmon, Seriousmon, and Atrociousmon into Proximamon. They're pretty awesome. Um, yeah, but I second the Amphimon request from you. Um, I will bring up the one that I know both of us are going to talk about. Spirits. Spirits in general. Spirits. Um,
Yep.
Both of us were kind of disappointed in this game that we only got to have the spirits of light and fire. We did get Lanamon.
Shocking.
Yeah, well, shockingly, the two protagonists. Um, but
Oh,
the
two of the protagonists.
it became the Koichi Takuya show once they got Emperor Greymon and Magna Gurumon.
That's true, but I mean,
It still would
yeah.
have been nice, yes. And when I mean I want all the spirits, I mean like I want full throughs. So we do technically have 3 other spirit Digimon in the game. A lot of the machine type Digimon can digivolve into Ancient Wisemon, which is totally, it's so weird that Ancient Wisemon is in this game. There's a whole side quest with him, which is not unwelcome, but it's just odd. And then we have Lanamon, who's Lanamon and Calamarimon, who are story characters. They're titans. but you can only digivolve into them. You can't not armor digivolve. You can't spirit digivolve into them, which was super disappointing to see. Um, so I'm just gonna say spirits in general. So I think it would be really cool if, like how we have in the game, a rookie set to be the Digivolution to the champion. So for Coronamon evolves into a Goonimon. Uh, I think if they could just do that for every single spirit, um, that would be cool. They already have everything else. They just need 8 more base Digimon to make into the spirits. Uh, Add in the fusions. I don't care if Daipenmon is the fusion spirit of ice. Add it. Do you know what Daipenmon looks like?
Uh, no.
Oh. Okay, so you know how the spirit of ice was like Kumamon, and he was like the little bear guy that had like the hat
Yeah.
and everything like that. And you know how his beast spirit was like the giant, like ferocious, like Tangoth Toborn looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they fuse into. You know how like fusion like combines the two design now, um, but that's Daipenmon, who is the fusion spirit of ice. Don't question it. A lot of people don't like it, but we both. I know for a fact you do, but we both want the spirits to be added. All of them. They make it very easy. The fusions can be the ultimate levels, and then just make the ancient Digimon the mega levels. That's all you need to do. You don't need to create new Digimon to equate to Emperor Greymon and Magna Gurumon. Just give them the ancient Digimon to digivolve into. Um, Maybe even make some story DLC. Maybe they'll be relevant in the next game. I'm not really sure. Um, but spirits. But go ahead.
Uh, well, you know, two of mine on here are spirits in particular. Um,
Oh, oops.
I
Well,
both
we could talk about
both
them then.
yeah, it's like when I was making my list, I couldn't like I was like, ah, I know so many Digimon, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, almost all of the Digimon that I know are already in this game.
Which makes it
to,
easier. It's
to
a,
like to this game's credit, like they so many, so
well, they
many
also
Digimon.
hit on the ones that people would like and know, the ones that people were expecting. Um, you know, it's it's expected of them to an extent to add some of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, but also like, um, so like the two spirits in particular, because I only put two down. Um,
Fuck the other
Mostly it
ones.
was to like fill up my list, and you know I love them all. I
Uh huh.
truly do.
Even
But
Daipenmon.
honestly, I kind of adore them.
Yeah,
Um,
he's cute.
but the two that I want more than anything, and I want their whole lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it kind of makes my heart a little sad that like the normal thing is for DLC is adding megas and not like
Yeah,
whole lines to
so
kind of get it,
far,
but like
yeah.
yeah, but they can change. I believe in the power of change. Thank you, Obama.
Yep.
But Kazemon and Beetlemon in particular,
Mm-hmm.
I love so much. Beetlemon in particular is my boy. He's so cool. Metal Kabuterimon, holy crap.
Um, yeah, no, I think that's cool. I feel like it would warm your heart for a while. Green hybrid was very dominant in Digimon back when I played, and it Kabuterimon and Beetlemon and the Spirit of Thunder were green Digimon cards, or they are green Digimon cards. Um, it
Oh,
was it was it was stun lock, but it was very meta.
that's
Um,
awesome.
And ironically, so was Kazemon because they were yellow, and yellow was life manipulation, so it was white in Magic.
Mhm.
Uh, and they were just
Oh.
super good because they could manipulate the memory, or not memory, the damage area, and also summoning sickness is the thing in Digimon, but spirit Digimon can digivolve over tamers. So as long as you had it over, you could swing for game in some cases if people didn't know you had a hybrid in hand. Um,
Mhm.
so you know how like in Yu-Gi-Oh we would say like cowboy for game.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You would just like show your, you would just show the spirit in your hand, and you'd be like, spirit for game.
that's funny.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
yeah. You put the two level fours on the field, and you're just like cowboy for game, and the opponents just like shake on it. You would just be like, or your opponent would know that they're fucked if you had a hybrid, and they'd be like, "Do you have hybrid?" And you know, sometimes you'd be the respectful person and be like, "No," and then sometimes you're just like, "Yeah, I run the hybrid somewhere in my deck." So yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I said, I would love all of them in the game. It's weird that they weren't added in. There were so many references. We didn't bring this up, but there were so many references to all the previous seasons, and Frontier felt the most lacking because you only had those two.
Yeah.
Like
No.
we only saw Lanamon when we got to that point in the story, but as soon as you get into the beginning village, like the first town, you can literally turn the corner and see Shoutmon and a bunch of Crossheart Digimon. You can turn the corner and see Guilmon and a whole bunch of Digimon from Tamers. Go up a little bit. I mean, fucking, you can look at the top of the fucking village and you see Shine Greymon fucking aura
Yeah,
farming at the top of it. It's from
it's true.
that's from Data Squad.
And you go into a bar in a Goonimon and
Yeah, Lobomon
uh
are just fucking drinking.
Lobomon are just drinking in there.
Yeah, they're just drinking. They're like, it's only us. This sucks. And you're just like, yeah, it is. And then like, you go towards the Locomon, and you have all four free. You have all four Digimon from the second season of Adventure. So like, it. And then not to mention like there's a progressing story with some of them. Like as time goes on, when you jump through time, like you can see how some Digimon like change and like everything like that. But like it's just them. Like it's just them. You get Susanomon, that's cool, but that's what you would expect from just having a Goonimon and Lobomon.
Yeah.
So
I don't I don't remember if they digivolve or not.
no,
For them because
you
they
see
move over into the arena.
you see a Burning Greymon and a Kendo Garurumon, but whether those are the same Digimon is questionable.
That's true. Well, actually, no. I'm pretty sure it is because, um, like they never go back to that bar.
Yeah, no, because they're
And
fighting the
also that
Titans.
area got taken over by the Titans. So
Yeah, but I mean, like you don't see them become Aldemon and Beowulfmon. You don't see them eventually
that's
become
true.
Emperor, Magna. They definitely don't become Susanomon because Susanomon's like his own
Yeah.
entity.
But also,
So
like we can say the same for like Coronamon because we never see like Coronamon in the middle. We just see him at the end with Apollomon.
yeah, 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 for sure. Um, he was training. He went to Cosmic Area.
Yeah. No,
Um,
those guys were training too. They were drinking their sorrows
yeah, I
away.
was gonna say with training
They
their digital
had
livers.
digivolved.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I agree. Um, who? Okay, so the others on my list. Um, so I have my wants are kind of like we know that some of these are going to be coming, but X Antibody Digimon. I don't know if you know a lot about X Antibody Digimon, but
I
the,
I know that they exist.
okay. So there was this X Evolution movie that came out. It introduced the concept of the X Antibody. Essentially, the X Antibody was like, so the Digimon movie X Evolution was Marxism with Digimon. Like
That's awesome.
it was quite literally like survival of the fittest, everybody else will die. And the X antibody was essentially what people the Digimon were calling them an infection, right? But the X antibody was actually like evolving them without evolving them a stage above, giving them the X antibody, and the X antibody essentially allowed them to like survive being data wiped when the server reset. So there there's X there's X antibody Digimon, and then there's natural carriers of the X antibody. So like Dorumon. So do you know who Alphamon is, right? Or like
Yeah.
you saw him in the game. So
Yeah.
Dorumon and Ryudamon, those are natural carriers of the X antibody, right? But then there's like Guilmon X antibody, which is a Guilmon that has X antibody because the original Digimon did not have it, right? They
Mhm.
they usually have like a very they don't have a drastically different design, but different enough depending on the Digimon because like Metal Garurumon X is literally a bipedal mechanical robo dog. Uh and then sometimes X antibody Digimon just have an X over their forehead. Like Tokomon X antibody just has a X over its ears and forehead. So sometimes it can vary, but they just bring cool designs. Like, ooh, X. So you remember Rapidmon Gold from the armored Digimon?
Yeah.
This is his X antibody, which is considered a mega level Digimon.
Oh, that thing's sweet.
Uh, and then there's Magnamon X, which is also considered a mega level Digimon.
Yeah.
And then last one
I
I'll show
think
you.
I still haven't put it together. Yeah, it is. The I've been sitting on this thing for like a year because of depression. But I have that uh Omegamon model kit. And
Oh,
that's Omegamon X antibody.
yes, 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 yes. So, uh,
Oh, maybe I'll do that this weekend. Ooh.
so that's future plans for the future. But yeah, so I would like a lot of X antibody Digimon just added in because it's just a mode change, or it's not a mode change. It's like a permanent mode change because once a Digimon in like the series gets it, there's no going back. Like it's like a permanent upgrade, and it's like
Yeah.
it's an upgrade in every sense of the word. Like they get stronger, they're resistant to more, they can do cooler things. Um, like to give it perspective, Omnimon from the Royal Knights, because in that movie, like Yggdrasil is active and like the Royal Knights are a thing and they're hunting down X antibodies. Omnimon, just regular Omnimon, the one on the Royal Knights, the one that's super cool, the one that deflected that Chronomon attack at the end of this game. That guy fought Garurumon X antibody and War Greymon X antibody, two halves of him that he should be equal to, if not stronger than, and they were keeping up with him. Like they were fighting him. They put him on the back, like the back foot at one point. They were throwing out moves that he hasn't seen before because they're like new forms of his composite pieces. So they're just really interesting. I just wish I want there to be more because even if you don't like them, they just add more content because technically they're stronger. But that's just
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, you're done.
It's kind of two in one.
Okay.
But you can't really have one without having the other because there's no point.
Like milk and cookies.
And that is both Zeed and Moon Millenniumon.
Mm-hmm.
I
We have
we have
Chimeramon.
and we have Millenniumon.
Oh.
we
Oh yeah.
he's in the game. I have him.
I forgot about that.
And
Yeah.
I can't tell you how sad I was when I saw like how far into the line he was. I'm like, oh, it makes sense, but that means we probably don't have the rest. And then it stopped. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. which is fine. I get it. It would kind of it is he is a bit of a hard one. Like once you hit Zed Millenniumon, sure, cool, it makes sense. It never made sense to me, but it was also super cool, like in my head, because I don't know, like I know a bit about like Zed Millenniumon and Moon Millenniumon, or I guess like Moon equals Millenniumon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was always like weird for me because my first interaction with it proper was playing through Digimon World Dawn and Dusk
Yeah.
because you can get it in there pretty free. And it was really weird for me that like Chimeramon would turn into a small crystal.
Mm-hmm.
But then emerge into this like terrifying behemoth of digital code. He's so cool. And it
Yeah.
as much as I love Chimeramon, I'm gonna be real and honest. The bright neon yellow of light that is on the back of Millenniumon that you can't really make out what it is. I don't like regular Millenniumon's design. I honestly think he looks way worse than Chimeramon. Chimeramon looks super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I
In
totally forgot
Millenniumon,
about that.
even especially like in this game where like we're seeing these like Digimon models in like really high quality, he looks really stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, I totally forgot about that with Moon and Zed. Um, yeah, because we have like a Pokemon. We have
Yeah.
quite a bit. Um, yeah, you'd think that we'd have them. Eh.
No, it's weird that we don't. To me it is weird on the same level that like, you know, we have some of the spirits.
Yeah, that does seem like that might be DLC. Who knows? That might actually be DLC that we have yet to have.
I would not be surprised. It would be super cool and interesting for them to narratively like write them in as like maybe like an overarching villain, if anything, because it is very easy to turn that is what that is. You can't make that character a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And it seems like so odd to like have cut because it's not a lot. Hmm.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Um, my next one, I heard you say Zed. My next one is actually Zed, Garurumon, and Victory Greymon.
Mm,
Do you know what these designs look like?
yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. Um, yeah, I just think they'd be fun. I think they'd be cool. I think they'd be fun. Um, they just look really cool. Maybe give us an Omnimon variant. Make it exclusive to the game. I don't know.
I love how dinky they are as far as designs go.
They're very chunky.
They're very chunky. They're also like very like I don't know. Weird is probably the best way to put it. Like, especially like Victory Greymon's sword. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why is it three swords,
So
but
for
it's
extra
one
cutting
blade?
action.
Oh, of course.
I just love that the middle one's very sharp on the edges, but it'll never get used because the blade shouldn't be touching anything if it's that inside the middle.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
love that it's Supreme Omnimon, right? Still has the the three-pronged blade.
Yeah. Well, there's no actual official Omnimon for them.
Oh, is there not?
Mm,
Oh, well, I mean, we can probably imagine that it's gonna be that.
yeah. And then just a
I have
paper
a sneaking
cannon.
suspicion, right? Because it seems like Digimon really loves to do this, and like I get it, I love the character too. Um, I have a sneaking suspicion that moving in, when we get this DLC stuff, we're we're gonna see in almost every single one of these DLCs, we're going to see one we're gonna see at least one slot taken up um by a different Omnimon variant in every single one.
So with the DLC we're about to get, most Omnimons are gone. Like most Omnimons are fulfilled. So that is positive because
I see.
they yeah, because they're adding in Zwart, they're adding in Alter B, they're adding in Alter S, um, Chaosmon. Both of his modes are also in the game. Yeah, Zwart Defeat is also one of them. So
Mm, okay.
that's
Yeah.
most of the Omnimons, unless they start making new ones. The only one that they have is like the one that was introduced in Try, which is a mode change called Merciful Mode.
Hmm.
That could be one that they could add in. I think that's all of them. Yeah, unless they do the Metabots one, that'd be cool.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't know about Metabots Omnimon?
No.
Metabots
How do I not? I love Metabots.
Metabots.
I
Yeah,
haven't thought
it's
about Metabots in years. Oh my god.
Okay, so here's what Metabots, Garurumon, and whatchamacallit look like. That's what they look like as Metabots. Where is it? Oh my
They're so that those are meta that you know what? That is exactly how I would have imagined that they look.
Oh, here it is. I forgot. It's not. It's called Omedamon instead of Omegamon.
Of course.
Yeah, it's whatchamacallit. Yeah, so it looks like this. It takes Metabee and whatchamacallit.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah. It takes Metabee and the other one and then it combines them together. Thankfully the color schemes like pretty much represent 1-to-1 with Garurumon and or Greymon. So
Yeah.
um yeah, he's the only other variant that they don't have in there. Zometamon. Um yeah. Um yeah. Do you have any more?
I have only one more.
Okay.
And it's probably my number one. I really want Kalumon in the game. Kalumon
Oh,
doesn't
we've
make it
talked
in
about this,
enough
yeah.
games. I love him so much. He's so funny, and he's also so interesting when it comes to Digimon as a whole and like what he represents and what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, we briefly talked about this on like together that like I think it'd be really cool for story, like a story reason that he gets introduced.
Yeah.
And then it's not very common that they do this, but if you do like they could like Kalman doesn't evolve obviously, but if they could kind of give him a similar role that he has in like the card game where he's just like a support item. Like in the card game, if you have him on the field, he makes evolutions for Renamon. He makes evolutions for Digimon named Renamon, Terriermon, and Guillaumon cheaper, or if they have them in the source, I think. So like
Hmm.
he just does what he does in the show, and then he also does something on Delete, which I think might be Play a Tamer. I don't remember. There's a couple Columons in the Digimon TCG, but in the game, you can just he's not a fighter, so you can just keep him in like the support role, and then like give him like a really unique passive ability that states like, as long as this guy's in your party, like your team gets this much of a buff, like to kind of compensate for not having a sixth Digimon to fight, and to also buff your guys. I think that'd be really cool. Um, Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Column is very underused. Um, Pretty much like a tamers only thing for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, the
I think he was in Rumble Arena.
I don't think he was playable. I think he was just the announcer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like that's the last time I can really think of like him being in the game even.
yeah. I don't think he's in Cyber Sleuth. I could be wrong. He could be. Um, there were a couple one-offs in Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. Um, for me, it is the my last one. I have a couple more, but I just to keep it simple for us. My last one is you don't know this season of Digimon is for Digimon Cross Wars. So there was a Digimon called Shaman that you might have digivolved into in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shaman goes
Yeah.
into Omega Omni Shaman or Omega Shaman.
Yeah. I
Um,
went down Shoutmon's whole line. He was super cool.
So in Cross Wars, they don't digivolve, or at least they don't initially digivolve. So, uh, to throw some lore at you, they have a new mechanic called Digicross, and it's where you take one Digimon and you add the power of one or more other Digimon to it. Now, this sounds like DNA Digivolution, but it's not because you it's not that you're combining them, it's like you're making one into armor slash weaponry. You're buffing one with the other instead of it being two Digimon harmoniously evolving into one new Digimon. You're just kind of taking one or more Digimon and stacking them onto a different one, right? Shoutmon, for the majority of his show, just has Digimon tacked on to him, uh, and he just gets buffed, right? He gets new additions to his name. Like he calls himself like when he goes through his first Digicross, he becomes Shaman Cross 2. He adds a new Digimon, he becomes Cross 3. Yada yada yada. It stops at a point when he gets modifications instead of direct upgrades. Like, uh, there's this really cool. Okay, you're gonna judge what he looks like, but this is what. So you remember what Shaman looks like, right?
Yeah.
This is what Shaman looks like. Oh man. Okay. I need to give this. I need to give this to you progressively. Okay. This is what Shaman looks like with this other Digimon called Ballistamon. This is called Shaman Cross 2, right? You can kind of see how one works into the other, right?
Yeah.
uh, you can kind of see it there. Now, stay with me when I show you this next one, because you might just say, no, that's not right. This is Shaman Cross 3. Yes, that does look like Omnimon's head. Yes, it's kind of intentional. Does this look like a Megazord? Yes, but we like the
He's kind of
Megazord.
Soundwave coded.
Yes, because of Ballistamon. He's really cool. Also, Shaman's supposed to be like sound and like he's like a rock star and everything. So you see that guy right there, right? That cross 3. This is him, but this is cross 4. But the only reason he's called cross 4 is because he just made a bunch of them into a sword for himself. Okay.
Is that Starmon?
Yes. So there's a new there's two Starmons that exist in Digimon. Uh, in Cross Wars, there are duplicate Digimon that are technically a different Digimon, but they share the same name and kind of design. One of them being Greymon because there's a blue Greymon that's not the same blue Greymon in the game. It's confusing sometimes. But yeah, that's a little Starmon, and then the ones above it are actually separate Digimon called Pikmon that are like a hive mind Digimon that get counted as one Digimon, if that makes sense. So that is so you see that one, right? That's Shaman Cross 4, right? Now, when I show you this next one, don't judge it too hard, because he's really cool. But this is when Shaman Cross 4 Digicrosses with Beelzemon. Uh,
No.
no, he's a centaur.
He's-
Yes. You see how Beelzemon's guns are there? Even one of them's holding a gun. You like it. His waist is a cannon.
it's oh, okay. I
You, you love it, I
I
know.
I saw the machine gun just. Oh no, that is where I think it is, isn't it?
No, 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 no. It's on his left
It's-
side. It's not there.
oh, okay, okay. I thought.
So this is, and then this is him. This is Cross 5. You'd assume that one that I just showed you was Cross 5, but this one's Cross 5. He gets wings, he gets a new helmet, he looks a little cooler, right?
Let's go back to Cross 4 here for a
No,
second.
no, 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 no. We don't have to go back to Cross 4.
No, no, no,
Because
no, no.
you know how I just showed you Cross 5?
Oh,
This is Cross 5B.
yeah.
Because he's
Oh,
also a centaur.
back. It's Dean. Do you know who this is? This isn't a Digimon. This is Korag in disguise.
Yes. Kind of, yeah. Uthor Estro Catastros. Yeah, so that's him, right? You know how I just showed you all of these, right?
Uh-huh.
I want each of the individual Digimon in these forms added into the game.
But not this one.
No, 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 no. I want that one too.
Oh, you want okay, okay, I see.
I want there to be a separate BL, because this is what Beelzemon. You know what Beelzemon looks like, right?
Yeah, of course.
This is
I love
what.
him.
Well, I'm about to rock your world. I mean, I think I've been kind of doing that with showing you all these pictures. But this is what Beelzemon looks like in Cross Wars. He's technically a different Digimon. Technically, this is considered a Holy Knight Digimon version of Beelzemon. Honestly, in my opinion, he looks pretty cool. He's cool in different ways, right?
Yeah.
Beelzemon was like a cool punk demon lord. This guy's like fallen angel, right?
Yeah.
He still has a railgun, which I really like. He also has like an actual through line because they added this new guy in named Balmon, and you cannot tell me that this guy does not give aura. This guy's fucking dope. Look at him.
Oh, this guy's sweet. I've seen him before. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's super cool.
So he's like the ultimate for Beelzemon. That's why I went to Wizardmon after to try and get Beelzemon, because that's like the line that I know.
Yeah. No, that's the line I know too.
So we have those are these are some of the Digimon that I want introduced. Do you want to see Blue Greymon?
Sure.
This is Blue Greymon. This is Greymon from Cross Wars. He's just called Greymon, but he's blue. Do you get it? Do you get the vision?
I do.
Do you get the
I
vision?
see.
Do you see this guy?
Mhm.
His name is Male Bergermon. Do you see him? You see how he's kind of like a mech?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him? He's got kibble.
No, you can't.
Can you guess what's gonna happen next? He's got kibble. He's got transformation kibble. Look, we both are Transformers fans. And this is Metal Greymon.
No.
Do you see this guy? This guy's cool. He's like an alligator. His name is Deckardramon. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's fun. What do you give his design out of 10?
Well, that's a solid 8 at least.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this guy.
Oh no.
We gave him feet. We gave him tank treads on his feet and a bigger railgun. Look at him. You see how majestic that guy is? Okay. Go back to the blue guy, right? You see that blue guy with the face tail and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Now when I send you this, We're looking at it with an open mind, okay? I'm trying to get you the one that doesn't look the worst. Because some of the pictures from the anime look really bad. Okay. What do we think about this?
I like this one.
Okay. This is, this is what he looks like in the anime. Less cool. He looks kind of derpy.
Oh,
He looks kind of derpy. He's like, he gives like G1, like really bad animated Armada vibes. But this,
he's got a whole fridge for a body in that one.
yeah. Okay, so you remember how Omega Shaman looked, right?
Yes.
So this is when the two of them combine together. So all of the gold guys together, right? Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Take the body of this guy, make it less fridgy. You put all of Omega Shaman's arm or body as an arm. He just his legs just become knives. Okay. We got this?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
You know how that looks consistent and like everything's gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it looks nice. Everything's cohesive with the design. You might be able to stomach it if you were to look at it, even in some good lighting and everything. Okay. Now, remember everything that I just showed you? Imagine if all of it came together without Beelzemon.
Uh-oh. Alright, who let their child design a character?
Look at him. He's so beautiful, isn't he?
I'm trying not to.
Okay. Okay.
That's messed up.
Okay. But this one is him if he combined with the entire digital world. Much cooler. At least he's one color, right?
Yeah.
Little
no,
bit better.
that yes.
Yeah.
We're not parts farming.
I want all of this
much
in the game,
anymore.
Vincent.
That is still just a leg. On his shoulder blade.
Do you see the face peeping out of the crotch?
I'm trying not to.
You know what my favorite part of that is that both of like all of the faces just don't have eyeballs. They just kind of, except for the robot, except Beelzemon, or Ballistamon, you kind of hide his eyes.
Help me.
Yeah. What's another fun one? Oh, okay. I don't want this guy in the game, but okay. When I send this to you, you can't judge it on its design.
You
need
can't
to
tell
judge
me.
it on its merits.
This is perfect.
Right? You see the common one?
I love,
Bongos, man.
It's what they're for.
Yeah. Fucking
This one's
bongos,
perfect.
man. Yeah. That's all I had. I want all of these guys in here except the last one. Yeah, you put the last one in there. It's fine.
The last one needs to be in.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my last one. I want the clusterfuck of everything in from crosswords into the game. That's it. But we delved a lot into today. Any final remarks before we end it off?
If you are a Digimon fan, if you're a JRPG fan, if you're like a monster collector fan, or you just like really well-made games, do yourself a favor. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
I can't really imagine anyone not enjoying this one. I've had plenty of people where like I've recommended trying to get into Digimon by telling them, "Oh, go load up an emulator, or if you can get your hands on a copy, play Dawn or Dusk," and it's a bit of a nightmare for them. Jaden Animations, one of my personal favorite content creators, has an absolutely fantastic video where she is a huge Pokemon fan. She tried playing Dawn and Dusk without really having too much exposure to Digimon. Digimon is way more information overload on people than I like frankly really realized that it would be. Um, this
They're different games.
makes
Very different games.
all of Digimon very easily digestible in
Yes.
ways that like I am
In comparison to
flummoxed
other
by.
entry points in the series, this one definitely is the best. Um, when it comes to being new user friendly and just the quality that you can get out of the amount of playtime you get. Because in some of those games, and not to derail you, in some of the games you kind of get it gets good by the end. This one is it's good from the beginning.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I agree with your sentiments. I really love this game. As you can tell, we have a lot of hopes for it. That the DLC that there'll be more DLC after the DLC drops with the season pass. You know, hopefully this game was the top of the charts for a while. This game was the top of the Steam charts for a long time. Um, we don't know the sales from PlayStation. We don't know the sales from anywhere else it was sold, but on Steam charts, it was the number one top selling game for a while. And Bandai noticed. Bandai noticed a lot. Bandai has been noticing a lot when it comes to Digimon. They have a lot of stuff going on right now with Digimon New Century in China, the Digimon card game. There's currently a light novel being written, Digimon Liberators. The show's going strong. This game, people are correlating that this game got the anime more views, which, you know, for Pokemon and Digimon, sometimes that's the point. It's to sell toys to kids and stuff like that. But this is getting an entirely new audience into the fiction of Digimon. So that, along with like some really big streamers, like what was it, Moist Critical streamed this, right? Or
yeah,
someone,
I think so.
like there was a lot of like very well known streamers that played a couple hours of this game and got it attention and got people playing it. Like it's it's good. It's good. It's fun. Uh, if you don't like it at the end of the day, you know, everybody has their tastes. But if you qualify for either being a JRPG player, someone who's casual with RPGs, someone who likes the monster raiser slash breeder slash fighter genre that Pokemon has over. If you're a Pokemon fan and you just want to try something new, you know, I recommend it. But uh, yeah, if you don't have anything else, I guess we can lead into the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, so um, I'll have everything in the description, but if you want to reach out to us, we're on Blue Sky. I'm Lying Mask.
I'm Vincent Barlow.
And the Domestic BF Pod is also on there. Ultimate Maverick X, shout out as always for the art. And yeah, we see you next time, guys.
Stay beautiful, everyone.